Hi, everybody. It's that time again. Time for us to open a box of comic books and talk about comic books and see what comic books we got today. From the Discount Comic Book people. I've actually been reading a lot of trades and a lot of comics lately and been enjoying a lot of them. So I don't know if I finally figured out what's good or a lot of other series have ended or whatever, but let's see what we got today. Yes, it doesn't look like a lot, so probably won't be a very long video, which is probably good to some of you. Okay, here we go. We got plastic. Plastic. Okay, we have one of these. Lego Comic Defense Fun Defender book. Has a little Pride picture on it. I think we got one of these last time, didn't we? We got a new issue of Spook House, which has been a fun little series. It's sort of like if creepy, it's kind of like if creepy or eerie were still going on. The art is a little more cartoony than either of those series. But it's a fun read. It's a fun little read there. Spook House. Ooh, we've got the second issue of The Damned. Now, I think I talked a little bit about this before. Colin Bunn and Brian Hurt did Sixth Gun, which I really, really loved, so I thought I would give this a try again. I got the trade of the first collection of The Damned comics, and the basic story is this guy is dead but can see demons and stuff like that, but it's kind of noir-y too. He owns a club that demons aren't allowed to go into, but of course they're always trying to get through the door. And there's, mystery about people coming back from the past, people who owe people money, dames. So it's got all those elements, but it hasn't quite come together for me yet. So we'll see. It's only issue number 2 right there. We got the first issue of The Defenders. So let's see if this is any good. It looks like it's The Defenders as far as, the Netflix series go. So if you like the way they're being portrayed there, I assume that this is what this one's going to be. It's being written by Brian Michael Penis, so it's hit or miss with him. Sometimes he's good, sometimes he's bad. We got another issue of Amerikarate. That cover's kind of funny. I don't know why. This series makes me laugh. That's why I'm getting it. It's not the greatest. The art's not the greatest. But it just makes me laugh. It makes me laugh. It makes me happy. The next issue of Grass Kings. This has been a pretty good series. It's kind of picking up for me. I wasn't so into the first issue, and I think you might remember from some of my other comic chats, I was not on board with the whole kind of like countrified, redneck, we live in this one area that's with a lot of poverty and we don't care. They seem like they care a little bit. And I just, the art is really what's drawing me into this. It's just this kind of great, watercolor, kind of fun, splashy kind of bits. I don't know. I think it's only 6 issues. I don't remember whether it's a miniseries or not, but been interesting fun so far. We also got another issue of Star Wars. And I will tell you, I read the last issue. This is Screaming Citadels, which I guess is a crossover. I'm only reading Star Wars, so I don't know where else it's crossing over with. But I'm so happy to see 000 back, and I'm so happy to see BT and Dr. Aphra back. My favorite characters from the Darth Vader series. I'm glad that they're still going on. I would love to see them in the movies. Somebody get on that. They're my favorite characters created for the comic book. And they deserve a place in the movies. They're that good. They're just so, I don't know, fun. They're fun. Oh my. The next issue of Secret Empire makes me choke. That's how bad it is. No, I'm just kidding. It's how good it is. It's been fun so far. There's one thing that I don't like about it. I like the parts where Captain America is kind of dealing with his own symbolism and beliefs, but as the head of Hydra. Um, what I don't like about it is they've got this side story going on where I'm assuming it's Captain America trapped in the Infinity, not the Infinity Gems, the Cosmic Cube. Like the real Steve Rogers is trapped in the Cosmic Cube, and at some point he's going to get out. Probably when everybody finds the shards of the Cosmic Cube. It's a very dark crystal. They have to find shards of the Cosmic Cube to put it all back together so that he can be Steve Rogers again. You know, liberal Democrat, and not Steve Rogers Republican. So, which is really the only way that I read this. I don't necessarily think Captain America is bad. He just has a different way of looking at things now, and so that's kind of interesting. We got the next issue of American Gods. Haven't caught up on that yet. We got the next issue of Regression. I don't know if anybody's reading this. Is anybody reading this? I'd love to know what you think of it. I read the first issue. Again, it's another Colin Budden thing. And it was interesting. This guy basically is having these thoughts and memories of stuff, and he doesn't know what they're all about. So he tries past life regression. But what happens is, at least I think from the first issue to this issue, maybe I'm wrong, he has pulled somebody from the past into the future. And whether that person is an actual person or just another personality of this guy who's doing the regressions, we will find out. We will find out. It was pretty gross too, the first issue. There were bugs coming out of people's mouths and things like that. So, fun. Regression is fun. Another issue of Extremity. Regression is fun. Extremity is fun too. I think I've already, toted this as much as I possibly could. If you're not reading it, then you're missing out. Another issue of Penny Dreadful. Bing. Pretty cover. I like that cover. This series, the thing that makes this series for me so far, the continuation of Penny Dreadful, is that Mr. Lyle is in it. And he's one of my favorite characters from the series. If you watch the show, you know who I'm talking about. I just like to imagine that after the Moulin Rouge got burnt down, he just went to go live in London and hang out with all these people. Everything's going so well. So he's fun, and he's in this. So it's been fun to watch him there. We got the next Red Line. This is another really good series. It's hard to put my thumb on it, other than it's sort of like, what if the military were on Mars, and you were a military guy, and you were on Mars. We got the next issue of Iron Fist. So now basically what Iron Fist is doing is he's still trying to get his chi back. He's still fighting. I think he's got 7 champions he's got to fight to try to get his chi back. In the process, he's also bringing back Kunlun, the city that he's from, that he learned how to be the master that he is. But there's this other group of people who are hoping that he brings it back, and that he'll be so weakened by the process of that they'll be able to take over. So this is issue 4. I'm assuming by issue 6 we'll know whether or not that happens. Okay. Oh, yay! Look at, we got the new number 1 of Darth Vader. I have really high hopes for this series. As I think I mentioned before, the last Darth Vader series that Marvel did, which I think went up to like 25 issues or something like that, just a little while ago, was so good. It was written so good. The art was so good. As I already mentioned, 000 and BT and Dr. Aphra all came from that series. They're all wonderful characters. So I don't know why they ended it, just to restart it. But he's back, and I can't wait to read this and find out where he's at. So of all the Star Wars titles, that one's the one that's been the best and grabbed me the most, and I do like to be grabbed. So here is the second issue of Black Bolt. This is kind of interesting. I think it's going to be a character study. I did read the first issue, and basically he's kind of trapped where he can't use his powers. So it's going to be sort of a, who is he without his powers storyline, which can be interesting. We'll see how it is. I thought it was fun that in his prison he met the Absorbing Man, who also doesn't have any powers, but still it's kind of like his personality came through as far as kind of being just a rough and tumble guy. Even if he wasn't able to absorb powers, he'd still be, kind of a guy who likes to fight and measures his somebody by their strength, and so he does that to of course Black Bolt as well. It's interesting. We'll see how that goes. And then the last one we got for this time is Bane Conquest #2. Now I did read. This is a pretty fun cover. I like this cover. I don't know why, but it's just it's kind of cartoony, but it's fun. I did read the first issue of this, and I liked it a lot. I don't know a lot of what the gist of it's going to be as far as what's to come. But basically, Bane is looking for challenges. He pretty much feels Gotham City is his to do with whatever, but other people don't seem to understand that. And so him and his aides and stuff like that are gonna, I guess help them understand that. The art has been good. If you read #1, you get to see Bane's butt. He's in the shower. That's a nice little scene there. There's something about this character that's coming through in this, and as I mentioned before, I'm not really a big Bane character as far as who he means for Batman, the Batman mythos and all that kind of stuff like that. But this is starting to make me like him a little bit. Not too different from the Absorbing Man, like I mentioned in Black Bolt. He measures himself and other people by strength, how strong they are, how are they able to overcome things, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just another way to get through life, I suppose, is you're measuring yourself and other things and how strong you are. Are you able to take on things, conquest over things? So I thought that was an interesting little tidbit for this character. If I'm going to give you 3 suggestions on what to read, there's a lot of good comics in this packet we got here, but I'm going to go with let's see. Oh, I can't even decide. There's so many good ones. I don't know. I'm going to say the last 3. I'm going to say Bane Conquest. I'm going to say Black Bolt. It's been interesting. And let's get into this Darth Vader. I'm super excited to see what this series is like. In fact, I'm going to go and read this right now.